Hi everybody, this is Katie, and this is the next installment of Rush Reviews. This week, I finished a book that I have been struggling to finish for the longest time. That book is a Kingdom Keepers novel, The Return, Book 2, Legacy of Secrets. This book came out in March, and I went to the bookstore the day it came out, and I started reading it the day it came out. Literally just finished it on the 14th of June. So it's been a little bit. I've had a little bit of time to finish this book, and it's taken me a very long time. Which, for a Kingdom Keepers novel, that's really rare for me. I am attesting it to the fact that I started reading it when I was sick, and I kept getting sick. I figured I'll read a book, and then I would read a chapter and literally fall asleep holding the book. So that's why it took me forever to get through this book. I gave it a 3 out of 5 on Goodreads. I think it leans more towards 3.5, maybe 4. But really just the fact that I had such a hard time getting through this book originally is really what kind of plummeted its score. This is the second book in the spin-off Kingdom Keepers series. The original Kingdom Keepers series, 7 books and 2 novellas, and then there's a spin-off series which if I'm remembering right, it's going to be a trilogy, so there's 1 more book. I could be wrong though, I mean it's Ridley Pearson, who knows. This was definitely a second novel in a series. It had the second novel hump. So, keep that in mind, okay? So, it got slow at some points, and some of the time travel aspects that were in this book were it was difficult to try to wrap my head around. A couple things that I really like this book that really isn't very spoily is this is the Barnes & Noble Special Edition. So in the book, it came with this cute little Disneyland map of what it looked like when it opened in 1955, and on the back it has a current day map of the Disney studios with different like markings and stuff like that on here for what the characters in the book needed. It was a great visual reference that came along with this book. This is the cover of it, the jacket, and then if we look at the actual hardcover, it's pretty simple. I like the spine. Spine's cute. It's absolutely nothing to do with the plot of the story or why I enjoyed it so much or anything like that. But at one point they're talking about Disney as a whole, and the bad guys that are reoccurring throughout the first series, and at one point they say the phrase House of Mouse. I am part of a Disneyland social club called House of Mouse, so seeing just that phrase in there got me really excited, and I put it in Snapchat. And I am interested to see where this story takes us, because as I started reading it where I wasn't sick, I started reading it quickly like I normally do Ridley Pearson's books, as well as just the Kingdom Keepers series in general. So I honestly don't know how this is going to be a trilogy because of what's been happening and the build-up that's going on. I honestly don't think it's going to be a trilogy. I think I heard a rumor that it was, but I honestly don't know how it could be. So that being said, there was a lot of feely moments in it, some things that weren't exactly totally resolved like I would have liked them to be. Yes, I know the story's not done. There was a bit in it where they were talking about relationships that was going on, and how one character didn't approve how the other was acting around a third, and it was an interesting going back and forth. Yes, there are like romance aspects in this series, but it's not overpowering, it's not overbearing, it's just kind of something that went, hey, this is a thing, and you're like, oh, that is a thing. And finally, you finally get to talk to a person in this book that is so influential to Disney as a whole, and I really want to say who it is, but you really need to read this book. You really, like, honestly, you really need to read the books and novellas that come before this, and the first book in the Return series, before you get to this. So it's gonna be a while, but it's so worth it. As a Disney fan, and as a Disney lover, and as someone who has just had Disney in their heart for the majority of their life, reading these sort of books that take place in Disney, both Disney World, Disneyland, the Disney cruise ships, Disney water parks that are at Disney World, it makes my heart so happy to read these. 3 to 4 out of 5. Read. Just read it. Make yourself happy. Make yourself happy and read it. Just do it. It's worth it. Okay? Okay. I have the links to all of my social media in the description below. There's Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Goodreads. I'm everywhere, guys. If you have read the Kingdom Keeper series and the Return series, tell me what you thought about them in the description below. Tell me how excited you were when we finally got to talk to the big person. And I'm trying to figure out what book to read. So, give me recommendations. I have a couple videos coming up soon. Another Katie Thanks, as well as a bookshelf tour, a book haul, another Rush review, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see what other videos I make. Insert a creative outro here, and I will see you in my next review. I will talk to you later. Bye. Okay, so now that, you know, my camera is going to continue recording, book a different my puppy isn't messing things up in this video too much. She's asleep on her bed that she flipped upside down.